magical people. I'm Lee, and this is Mario.
Greetings, muggles.
And we're gonna go find some Harry Potter Vans. So, here we go. Alright, so we're back from the mall. I have my new shoes, and Bubba wants to play. What else is new? What else is new? So, I hope you don't mind that I'm going to have a butterbeer while we talk about this trailer, because I've been working on it for 48 hours straight, and I am ready for a drink. Thank God. Okay, so we got a new trailer last week. Yes, it was a week ago. I have literally been working on this video for a week. And that's because the first time you watch it, you're like, holy moly, there's a lot of information in this trailer. Then you start to delve deep. I started to delve deeper and deeper into this trailer. Yes, Bobo knows. So I started to delve deeper and deeper into this trailer, and the deeper I went, the more confused I became. And I'm still not 100% clear on the whole thing, but I'm gonna do my best. Can you lay down, please? Come on, take your lamb chop. Bobo has an extensive collection of lamb chops. Lie down. Lie down. Hi, be a good boy for the video. Bo, what are you doing? Oh my God. All right, lie down. Bo was a little bit calmer now. Oh boy. Okay, so the first thing I noticed about this trailer is in the first scene, the first newspaper article, Battle of Hogwarts 1. So this is obviously right after book 7 is finished, and our trio and Harry at the lead have defeated Voldemort. Yes? Yes. Okay. So, if this headline is in the Daily Prophet, tell me why there is an advertisement in the top right corner for Wonders for Wizards, Magic on Every Floor in New York City. You know where we are. Found that a little weird. Second article is Hogwarts heroes join the ministry. Potter, Weasley, Granger fill ministry ranks. We know this. We know that Harry, Ron, and Hermione all join the ministry after the Battle of Hogwarts, because they all become Aurors, and they reform the Auror division, and they reduce the prejudice towards non-purebloods and other underprivileged magical creatures, such as, you know, house elves, Hermione, Spew, SPEW. So we know that our trio is making the world a better place. Okay, so they're in front of the atrium of the Ministry of Magic, right? So, like, that's rebuilt after Voldemort takes over the ministry. But where are you going? Come back. He doesn't want to be in the video anymore. So, they rebuild it, which is evident in the next article, which says that Ministry reborn, a new era of peace emerges, all that. if it's a really quick clip, this next, the third newspaper, right? However, and other YouTubers have pointed this out, but none of them have delved deep enough into it that I've seen. I could be wrong. If you look to the left of this picture of the ministry being reborn, a new era of peace emerges, there is a wand permit, which people have noticed. There's a wand permit notice. If you look really closely at that wand permit notice, it literally says the deadline for wand permit renewals is the 15th of January, 1927. Guess what takes place in 1927? That's right, the Fantastic Beasts series. And as I kept going through these newspaper articles, more and more things from New York and from 1927 and from that era started to jump out at me. So for example, if we go back one newspaper article, there is in the top right corner an advertisement for Bigfoot on Broadway. Bigfoot's Last Stand, the Broadway adaptation. What? I think that last article though, I started to pay attention after that to the newspaper headings. So this heading that has the wand permit renewal notice is a Daily Prophet newspaper. So it really doesn't make sense if the article is about the ministry being reborn after years of strife, all this, if it's following the timeline of the sequence of events that happens after the Battle of Hogwarts, which I'm hoping it does, because otherwise I'm going to be even more messed up, then what this tells me is that something about the Calamity has totally messed with timelines and has totally, and we all know that, like, yeah, the Calamity is opening these portals and, you know, is allowing these confoundables, these traces to be brought forth from, you know, the past, the present, the, you know, the timeline. But it's going back as far as 1927 when Grindelwald is at large. So that just like, so there are so many ads that actually XpectoGO, James from XpectoGO, he pointed out that there are recurring ads as one of the Easter eggs. Yes, there are so many recurring ads, and a lot of them are from the New York Ghost, which is the newspaper that flashes across your screen more so than the Daily Prophet newspapers in the beginning of the Fantastic Beasts, the first Fantastic Beasts movie. So we have, for example, there's the Peachy Witchy perfume ad, which James pointed out is a thing. So there's the Peachy Witchy ad. There's the Divine and Daughters Crystal Ball ad. There's that Wonders for Wizards, Magic on Every Floor. It's an Ebbingdale's ad. I found that out through these books, the film wizardry books, which have been very helpful in my research. So thank you to Mina Lima and Mark Salisbury and everyone that put something into this book, because they've been very helpful in my research. There's examples of newspapers in these books that I've been using instead of like killing myself in a lot of cases to try to get still shots of these articles and ads. See? I love it. Actually, the Crimes of Grindelwald one has the best view of the newspapers. So, we've got the hat collection one, which is the Wonders for Wizards. We've got Stitz, an advertisement for self-addressing envelopes. There is a Mrs. Scour's Magical Mess Remover ad, which also appears in the opening scenes of the New York Ghost articles and Fantastic Beasts. And there's a Giggle Water advertisement, which also appears in the opening credits of Fantastic Beasts. Those are just like some of the Easter eggs in terms of advertisement. Let me go back to the timeline really quick, because I think I'm just going to cruise through the timeline since a lot of people have sort of delved into that through the main headlines. So, New era of peace emerges. So this is like the Ministry being rebuilt after Voldemort. It's Harry, Ron, and Hermione working together to reform the Ministry and make it less prejudiced and more inclusive of everybody. Phenomenal. Okay? Fantastic. Then there's another newspaper, Daily Prophet newspaper, that pops up, and it says the International Confederation of Wizards twice, which is a little weird, but International Confederation of Wizards, it's never been better. International Confederation of Wizards, removals latest in string of international successes. And then there's a picture of Ron next to the Weasley's Wizard Rockets picture. Okay. So we know that at some point Ron leaves the Ministry after everything happens, because in Cursed Child, if we're counting that as canon, Ron is helping George run the Weasley's Wizarding Wheezes. Yeah, joke shop. So we know he's no longer an Auror. He's no longer in the Ministry at that point. So my question is, these removals, latest in string of international successes, could mean one of two things in this context. So it could mean, I'm wondering, did Ron not leave the Ministry? Was he removed for some reason? Due to some conspiracy? The other thing is that the Ministry and the International Confederation of Wizards have a habit of sort of covering things up and making it look like everything's peachy keen when it's not, because they're trying to prevent public panic. I get it, but it's still messed up. So I'm wondering if maybe something was going on already at this point when it says it's never been better. Because the Ministry of Magic, for example, said that when Voldemort came back, also in Book 4. They all covered it up, and they removed Dumbledore as the leader of the International Confederation of Wizards because he was spreading the news that Voldemort was back, and they weren't ready to confront that yet. So I'm wondering if something like that is going on here. There's that speculation, because right after that we go into the London 5 being missing. So like immediately after, it's never been better, and then all of a sudden, oh, we've got 5 people missing. What? So, and no suspects in sight. So at this point, they don't know what's going on, supposedly. My guess is that there's some dark wizardry going on. That Voldemort's back somehow. Somebody opened, maybe somebody used a time turner and opened a portal to the past. We all know that time turners from the series can do a lot of damage. Oh my god. Then, from the London 5 being missing, we go into Are the 5 Alive? Investigation ongoing. Are the 5 Alive? Investigation produces no results. My bad. See right here. Can you see it? Right here. Are the 5 Alive? Then right from there, we start talking about how the investigation was terminated. Because we zoom into that crime scene, which I'm gonna assume is where Grim Folly goes missing. Because there's a Quibbler, which we've already seen in the series. Because, like, hi. See it? I don't know if you can see it. Quibbler! We've already seen this Quibbler. And it's laying on the floor of the Ministry of Magic. I'm just saying. So, the Quibbler is laying on the floor, I think, because in the game, and I'm not sure how this ties into the timeline or storyline or anything yet, but in the game we know that when you walk with a portmanteau and you are able to unlock a port key and you're able to visit a place in the wizarding world via that port key, your goal when you're in that scene is to find, I think it's 5 Raxperts. And that is what Spectre Specs are used for. Luna tells us that in the movies, and the Quibbler tells us that in the books. So, Spectre Specs are supposedly used to find Raxperts, which are these, like, invisible creatures that get into your brain and they make everything sort of confused and fuzzy, which is exactly how my brain is feeling right now, so there's probably Raxperts on the loose. Next to the Quibbler, there's another article, and it talks about how the investigation into the London Five has been terminated. So this is why I think that this is where Grim Folly disappeared, because he disappeared after the London Five investigation was terminated, because we all know his wife is Penelope Folly, or Penelope Paget, and she is one of the London Five that have gone missing. In that Daily Prophet newspaper that's laying on the floor next to the Quibbler, it actually has an article in the bottom left corner that talks about my top 5, I think, favorite port keys. So it makes sense that like they would put that article next to the Quibbler, because Raxpert's port keys, they all go together in this game. You can tell that I've been working on this for a very long time because I'm a little loopy. Anyway, then we go into another article and it talks about the Calamity, and this is where the Calamity strikes. So this is another reason why I think that this is the Grim Folly crime scene, because immediately after that, supposedly in the storyline, the Calamity happens, where disaster befalls the wizarding world. So we have our snitch in the picture, and the snitch is being struck by lightning, which is a little interesting because yeah, why is it being struck by lightning? So the snitch is being struck by lightning, and meanwhile this whole time, since I think it's like the 4th newspaper article, it's never been better. This is another reason why I think they're covering it up. Since newspaper article 4, it's never been better. It's at that point that the International Confederation of Wizards starts advertising the need for obliviators. And in the bottom right hand corner of this Calamity newspaper, you can see one such ad pretty clearly, and it says, "We need obliviators, ICW Recruiting." Why are you recruiting if everything's fine and dandy? I feel like there's going to be a really heavy tie-in to the Fantastic Beasts series, because we see all these articles and these ads in the newspapers from the Fantastic Beasts series. So I'm guessing there's going to be some connections there that we weren't necessarily thinking were going to be there in the first place. Ministry confronts confusing conundrum. Down here. So at this point, things are confusing, and I feel like that's what these newspaper articles are conveying. The whole point of it is that like this is a really big picture sort of game. There's a lot going on, and you're not going to figure it all out in the first week or 2 of playing. It's going to be an ongoing thing, like over the course of years, which is what the developers of the game have said from the get-go, that it's going to be a long-term game. Super exciting, because who wants to play a game that you're going to figure out in the first couple of days anyway? Not me! That's why I'm a Ravenclaw. So, I gotta go, because I think my camera's overheating, and Bobo has been dying to play, and I really just want to finish my drink. So, I'm gonna go play with Bobo, and until next time, see ya!